And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports.
Here we go, set, 50, plant.
59. Rip left. Check 31, check 31.
80 weapons.
They'll run on first down. Whittington. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Coming to you.
Hey, Foxtrot.
They'll try the left side. Whittington. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Watch the
61, matchbox lights.
They'll run it now out of the gun. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
22 yards there, a first down. Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. 1st and 10 at the 19.
Mike's 59. Watch the slant.
Greystone travel. Bravo. Big River.
Throwing Jones. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. From 19 yards away, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman, and he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
This is Coleman. Give him 5 yards there, and it'll bring up 2nd. Down.
Tackle made at the 21-yard line. A 5-yard gain brings up 2nd down at the 21-yard line.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. From the gun, it's Wilson. Well, the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
First down, Seattle.
Hey, Booker T. Mike 50. I'm here all day. I'm here all day. Hold up. Come. Tight dog. Hey, alert 3. 14. No. Check three. 22, check, over.
They'll run with Coleman on first down. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 45-yard line.
What? 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Let's go. Let's bring it. Check.
Bang out. Bam.
Now it's Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. And this is taken in at the 5. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 47 yards. So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Check. 59. Front. Mike 59. Mike. 40.
On 2nd down now. It's Coleman. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson. Flush to his right. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Boy, such a good drive. You'd hate to have it end in 3. Do you think about going for it?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that they've moved the ball so well should lead you to the decision that maybe we should go for it right here. Also, as a head coach, show some confidence in your team. Let them know you think they can go get it.
So, yeah, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
At their own 25-yard line.
Ready.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, you know, I know I'm no brainiac, but you trade 6s for 3s, things are going to work out in your favor.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
SOS.
Hey, orbit.
Mike 59.
Ready.
Now Jones. Wright's got it. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to a guy playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Recon, 132 fighter. Go.
On 1st down, Jones. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 17 yards and a giant first down. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll try the left side. Person trying to run inside, but nothing there. Tackle made there by Frank Clark. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion, and to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
To throw is Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
So a little more space to work with here from the 13 on 1st and 10. Coleman. And he'll be taken down at the 18. Kendall Fuller in on the stop.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Check, punch it. Check, punch it. Hey, watch 11, watch 11.
Wilson. On the screen, this is Coleman. And he's able to get up here to the 26. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room.
Petty, the first down carry. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 26-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. Now a leaping catch, he's got it.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
You ain't going nowhere.
Let's go double count right here, double count.
Coming this way, here we go. Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
Watch the screen. Cut.
Mike's 50.
You ain't doing nothing today.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. Dancing to his left. He may try and run for this. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Check 19. Clear.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf. And now it's 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
This time, Wilson will throw. And that is incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
He'll field this at the 5. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
17 yards and a Giant first down.
Check. Pilot, 64, weak.
11-3.
Jones now throwing on first down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Hey, Alpha.
Check 59. Mike is 59.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Complete to right. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14.
Now that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Here's Jones on 1st and 10. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from, working his way into the secondary.
And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Darius Slayton, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead.
This has to be great for the psyche of the offense. Presented with bad field position, they didn't let it stop them. They rolled downfield and scored a touchdown.
Rosas good with the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
We got this.
At their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. Now Wilson on 1st down. And his throw here's incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
All go special. All go special.
2nd and 10 now. Wilson eluding the pressure right. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. And the Seahawks on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. To throw is Wilson. From the gun, he'll throw. And that will be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt. 6 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
At the 44-yard line.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard.
7.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left. In the opening half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Ready?
From the 44, Jones. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Giants. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Come on, man. Let's go.
At their own 25-yard
Quick.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing is Wilson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. 2nd down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. Wilson operating from the gun, trying to lay one up deep. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the 2nd quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Give them a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go, D. Hey, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Watch twist. Watch twist. Big
X3. 218. Chopper. 5.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
I'm coming after you.
Greystone travel.
Looking to throw. Jones. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Riley Dixon now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Hey, we got 3 down, 3 down.
Now it's Wilson. Oh, and he'll just get rid of this one deep. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. This time they stay on the ground. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Yannick Ngakoue. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Mike 50, Mike 50. Watch the slant, watch the slant. Hayward. Mike 50, Mike 50. Watch the run.
Now Wilson. Being chased out left. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And now off to the races, down the right side. And he will bring it back. It's a pick-6 and a Giants touchdown. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. On 2nd and 12, Wilson steps away to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Give the sack to Lorenzo Carter.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Mike 50. Watch out.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. He's going to let this one go deep. And the throw there going to be incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary can really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Good starting field position for the New York Giants here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
8-3, 6-6, bullet high.
At their 49-yard line.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jones, he's going to get this one out to his fullback.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
Hey, Echo.
Back to throw. Jones. He's going to float this one deep right. Got a man. It's caught at the 6-yard line. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. A big play there. 46 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. PAT up and good by Rosas. And the lead will swell by one more. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
We play to win. Let's go.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down. Wilson in the offense, not coming off the field. They're going for it on fourth. Here we go on fourth with Wilson. He's going to look deep down the field. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Giants are going to take over in great field position. On first down, Whittington. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. Whittington. And he'll get this one down to about the 17.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On third down, Whittington. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Rosas' kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So put 3 on the board, but from that far into enemy territory, probably hoping for more.
Yeah, I think they're going to get together on the sideline and talk about it, right? Because you get that far, that deep, you want to come away with a touchdown. They'll take the 3, but they're going to file it away for the future.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Metcalf once again the target.
Gotta go, in and out. Let's go.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Tevin Coleman, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will get him one closer.
38, Seahawks 10. Michael Dixon, the kickoff for Seattle.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken to another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he's able to get up here to the 26.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Got him, and it's late. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down. Jones now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Jones. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right in midfield at the 50. 7 yards there and a first down. From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. That's complete to Slayton. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It's a gain of 11 and a Giant first down. Jones heading up here 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
Jones from the gun, he'll throw. Catch made by Slayton. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Here's a throw dropped off to his fullback. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 10 yards, good for a Giant first down.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
Let's go now. 30 base.
At the 18-yard line.
Baby. Hatchet. Hatchet.
Now.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jones. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Giants on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Alert flare. Alert flare. Flare. Flare.
Throwing Jones. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 20. After the interception, here's Wilson. This one complete to Coleman. Now a loose football. Coleman lost it, and the Giants have it. It's picked up.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
8, read. Let's go, defense.
They'll run on 1st down. Whittington. Oh, look at the juke. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up 1st and goal.
Ready up. 8-3. 2-18. Jump. 5. Ready.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Rosas good with the extra point, and that will extend this lead. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Here's Wilson to throw. He lets it fly for Lockett. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Giants are going to take over in great field position. On 1st down, Whittington. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And the kick by Rosas is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points. But this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Dexter Lawrence. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. To try again after the sack. Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score.
0-0.
From the gun, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game.
Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh. Here we go. Hit it.
Down to a knee goes Jones, and that should just about seal it.
A loss of a yard.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Giants, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And perhaps fortunately for them, they'll get an early bye next week and come back to action in Week 7. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.